The U.S. court system. Chris, 19, and Jamie, 18, are at the mall on a busy Saturday afternoon. Jamie buys 2 CDs, 3 shirts, and a new video game. Chris, 2, finds several interesting purchases. By the time they enter the final store, they are both nearly out of money. Jamie sees an awesome pair of jeans on sale. But with what money she has left, plus what Chris has, she's still $40 short. She really wants those jeans, and because they are on sale, they're the last ones in her size. Chris suggests she try on the jeans, remove the tags, and stuff the shorts she is currently wearing in her purse. He tells her to just walk out of the store wearing the new jeans. If Jamie does this, she is committing theft. Jamie takes the jeans, but as she and Chris are about to leave the mall security stops them at the door. What happens to them now? Because they are both over the age of 18, they are adults. They will be sent through the criminal court system and put through a criminal trial. They are found guilty, and are sentenced to 6 months in jail. But after their sentencing, Chris and Jamie both receive notice that the store is suing them for their actions. The store claims that the cost of the time necessary for them to appear in court took them away from their business, and that Chris and Jamie should pay them for their lost hours of work. Chris and Jamie must now go through the process of a civil trial. Criminal versus civil. When we act in ways that violate our country's laws, we become a part of the U.S. court system. The courts of the United States operate in 2 parallel systems, the criminal and civil. Criminal cases involve commission of a crime. Crimes are illegal acts that are considered made against the entire population of the state in which they occurred. For example, it is illegal to kill another person. When someone commits murder, they are harming one person, but in the eyes of the law, the act is so disruptive to the community that it is seen as a crime against the entire state. Because of this, it is not the victim's responsibility to bring charges in a criminal case, but rather the state's. Civil cases are non-criminal acts against or between 2 different parties or individuals. We will learn more about how these 2 systems differ from each other in the next unit. For now, it is important to know that each of these 2 operate at both the federal and state levels. Courts in both federal and state systems may hear either criminal or civil cases. The types of cases that the federal and state systems hear are determined by their jurisdiction. In the next sections, we will be introduced to the federal and state court systems to better understand how each system plays a part in upholding our laws. One outlier in terms of the U.S. court system is impeachment, the process by which the House of Representatives passes articles of impeachment charging a president with engaging in activities that display an unfitness for office. Is impeachment a civil case or a criminal case? The U.S. federal court system. Remember, Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution outlines the federal court system. The federal court system has 3 tiers. District courts. The U.S. Courts of Appeals. The Supreme Court. A case can proceed up the ladder from a district court to the U.S. Court of Appeals and eventually the Supreme Court, if one of the parties involved in the case disagrees with the verdict and decides to appeal to the next tier in the court system. Federal courts handle criminal or civil cases. Civil cases may be handled at the federal level if the 2 parties are from different states and the disputed amount is above a certain level, currently $75,000. Federal courts also handle federal crimes like treason, counterfeiting, piracy, and patent issues. In general, federal courts handle interstate matters, or matters between 2 or more states, and issues that affect the entire nation. They also handle any and all questions of matters pertaining to the U.S. Constitution. District courts. In the United States, the first tier of courts within the federal system is the 94 district courts. These are the trial courts of the federal system, and they hear both civil and criminal cases. For example, a case of treason would be held in a federal district court because treason is a crime against the whole country. Federal district courts also have units within them known as bankruptcy courts. Bankruptcy courts handle all cases of bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a civil matter that refers to the process of being declared financially insolvent, or unable to pay your debts. Bankruptcy stays on a person's record for several years and will negatively affect their credit rating, making it difficult for the individual to make large financial purchases in the future. Bankruptcy should be seen as a last resort. U.S. Court of Appeals, Circuit Courts. The second tier in the federal system consists solely of the U.S. Court of Appeals. The 94 district courts are divided into 12 regions or circuits. Each circuit hears appeals from the district courts located within its area. All areas of the country belong to a circuit. So, our treason case might come to the U.S. Court of Appeals if the original verdict against the person, S, accused of the crime, called the defendant, S, can show that something in the original trial was unfair to them. In this case, the verdict may be overturned. The Supreme Court. Details for the Supreme Court, the final tier in the federal court system, were outlined in the Judiciary Act of 1789. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the country, and it has the final say in all legal matters. The court consists of a Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. The Supreme Court has jurisdiction over any case, be it federal or state. The Supreme Court also has the privilege of choosing the cases they hear. Each year, the Supreme Court hears about 70 cases and decides another 50 without going through a trial. But they receive over 7,000 requests every year. Because there is such a high demand for their time, they usually only hear cases that are socially important or that relate to the Constitution in some way. When we look at the list of cases on the Supreme Court docket, we can get a picture of the current issues that are undergoing debate in our society. For example, several recent Supreme Court cases include Los Angeles County v. Mendez, which deals with the use of excessive force by police officers. Trinity Lutheran Church of Columbia v. Pauli, which examines whether parochial, religiously affiliated, schools can benefit from a government grant program, in this case, a grant that would provide new playground materials. Microsoft v. Baker, which will determine whether Microsoft is at fault when several models of the Xbox 360 failed to operate. Are you familiar with these historic landmark cases decided by the Supreme Court? Roe v. Wade. This case established the basic right to access to an abortion in the United States. Brown v. Board of Education. This case about a black girl who was denied enrollment in a whites-only school declared school segregation to be unconstitutional. New Jersey v. TLO. This case questioned the rights of students in public schools against unreasonable search and seizure. Texas v. Johnson. This case established that burning the American flag is protected First Amendment speech. The state court systems. The second classification of courts within the U.S. system involves the state courts. Each state court system may be arranged differently, as outlined by their individual state's constitution. Each U.S. state has its own constitution or governing document that functions much as the U.S. Constitution does for the entire nation. So, the court system in each state varies slightly from other state court systems in the United States. Whereas the federal court system was divided into 3 tiers, state court systems are usually divided into 4 tiers. Town, city, and county courts, including small claims and probate courts. Many civil cases are resolved in small claims courts. If you've ever watched The People's Court or Judge Judy, you've seen this sort of court, albeit a highly produced one. Circuit courts. This is the Montgomery County Circuit Court located in Rockville, Maryland.